guys, it is Eagles week. Crack him if you got him, AJ. I am going to get a crack him in me too. I have some peach pear LaCroix.
Oh.
Crack him if you got him. Okay, let's get into it. Man, 3-5. That's what we're 3-5. 3-5. Eagles are 6-2. What the hell is going on with that?
Well, I before you get into that, there was some really big news this week that affected, most of America, with the Dallas Cowboys being America's team, obviously, and it was all over the news. So I think
the Mingo trade.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I was getting to. The Mingo trade. And I was serious. Yeah. Johnny Ringo Mingo.
It's crazy how we make a trade like that and it's news for obviously it's the most ridiculous trade to make at the moment to a degree. It just seems like the day after your quarterback gets we're told that our quarterback's going to be out for multiple weeks, they make the trade like this. And you're like, what is going on here? Like, I thought that was key for us to be entering rebuilding phase.
Or trading guys away, trading people away for a fourth round, gaining some fourth round picks, not trading your fourth round picks. And the last fourth round pick we traded away for someone was Trey Lance. So the Cowboys haven't been very successful in their trades of the fourth round caliber. But what are your guys' thoughts on Jonathan Mingo? I'm looking at his stat, not even his stats, just his physical attributes. He's 6'2" and 220, so he's at least going to throw a little bit of size in that wide receiver room instead of having all these little nimble-footed bitches that we have right now. We'll have someone kind of like a Des Bryant-esque size, so I'm interested to see that. But you're right, it just
AJ's going right to the stats.
Just loading.
It just seems underwhelming and just weird timing, like Ad said, with Dak Prescott injury news and the fact that Dak could be out into December. It just seemed very strange to do.
So it's you can't see, unfortunately. Adam's just fixing the screen here, but like you mentioned, 6'2", 220. He was. So I did think at first, and still definitely think I would have rather kept the pick. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Same. Totally.
If it was a fifth round, to be honest, okay, I think that would have been
more palpable.
But the reason that Mingo was so highly acclaimed is he's got 3 more years on this contract, and that's what I think pushed him up to a fourth round. So I'm just saying I understand that. 6'2", 220, and 3 years on the contract, and he was playing.
Are you talking about including this season?
Including this season, yeah. 2 more years. Sorry, he's in his second year of a 4-year contract, and he was playing in Carolina, right? So I know his stats don't jump out at you, but I wouldn't write him off.
Right.
However, just the excitement was just really not there at this time, like you mentioned, because with Dak going down, it feels like I don't understand it. But it makes sense if you're like, okay, well, this is a guy who perhaps they're looking to do big things for us in 2025 and 2026.
Yeah, well, I read that the Cowboys had a 3rd round grade for him last year during the draft process. So technically, if that's the case, in their brains, they got him for a less of a draft stance. But the one thing I would have been happy with is if they did this during the bye week, like 2 weeks ago, before had him for the San Francisco game, or at least had him against the Atlanta Falcons. Right now, it's the Cowboys season's unofficially kind of done, and it just seems like just weird timing. If you were going to make a trade, it's almost like they did this just to kind of mask the fact that they were putting Dak Prescott on IR. So the big news was Jonathan Mingo being traded, not Dak Prescott being hurt and going to be out for multiple months. You know what I mean? Yep. Or multiple weeks.
The media can't chase two rabbits.
What's the outlet's going to take? I think you're absolutely right. Had this have been a few weeks prior, then it would have looked like a good trade. The 4th rounder, we would have been like, I don't know about the 4th rounder. Bandwagon Bob is saying, what are they paying him? They're actually not paying him. His contract's not too bad. It's like $1 million a year for the next 2 years.
It's under $2 million, yeah.
So he's cheap.
So he's
definitely
cheap. The rounds that we're giving, the trade capital for the draft that position that we're giving him, that's not really great. A fourth rounder when our season is basically now kaput. That's where I think it stings a little bit more for all of us when we're looking at it and saying, okay, Dak Prescott out for 4 weeks, possibly longer because the chicken's coming off the bone. And now you're making some moves here and giving away our future, our future rebuild. Because we've already seen what happened to that fourth round pick that you gave away from this past draft, Jerry.
You're right. A couple things here is like the fourth round pick, does that negate the need to now go get a wide receiver in the draft? I don't think so, but this could be their thought. There's also that chance that Jonathan Mingo goes out there and plays better than a fourth round pick. Okay, that's great. Here's the only downside is, depending on what happens here with Dak, and I was reading today, I don't know if you guys shared it. I think someone shared it in our chat. It could be longer than 4 weeks. Yeah. And then at that point, would he be coming back if they opt for a surgery or something like that? So get it done sooner than later. But if Jonathan Mingo does go out there and performs well, we're not going to get to see him with Dak. So is that just going to be a connection that he had with Cooper Rush or Trey Lance, whichever one's out on the field?
Yeah, well, I mean, Dak Prescott is going for secondary opinions, but they're already saying that the muscle has come completely off of the bone for his hamstring injury. So it's like
he's been slow cooked.
Yeah, he's been slow roasted. It's just it's roasted so bad that it's coming off the bone.
That's how I like my Texas barbecue, not my Texas quarterbacks. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But Ad made a good point. The reason it stings so bad is just the fact that like this year's draft, there was a lot of good players that the Cowboys could have added in their arsenal. Yeah. But you also countered that with AJ saying maybe they're saying, well, they're not going to get a fourth round wide receiver better than this guy next season. So why not get him in right now and see how he does next year? Yeah. So I don't know. I guess it's going to depend how it shakes out a bit.
And
there's
his stats,
a lot of unknown.
Alex already said it. His stats, you can't really look at him. It's more of a quarterback and play calling issue when you look at some of his the tape from the reps he had in Carolina. So they could be looking at it and saying, hey, this is better than what we're going to get for wide receiver in the fourth round. And also, we can fix this. The stuff that's happening to him here, it doesn't negate what he absolutely is with his particulars, right?
I will say
weird timing. It was just weird.
Weird timing. Exactly. Weird timing. I think that the pick is just the cusp level pick where everyone
it's a cuck pick.
It's a cuck pick. Everyone's on the fence about it, being like, I don't know. We're gonna have to see how it plays out. And it would have been nice to have seen him have maybe a couple standout plays. I totally forgot about him as a wide receiver, and I do remember us talking about him during the draft as well. And
good size. He has good size.
Good size.
He was that big body receiver.
Yeah, and sorry, I did go and look because I was like, okay, well, why did they let go of Mingo over their other receivers? And I went and looked. Every single one of those receivers on Carolina are like 6'2", 220 pounds, or 6', 220. They're a bunch of big boys out there.
Well, and if you look at,
I don't know, maybe they just thought,
when we were like, why didn't they pick these people? Why didn't they beat these people? Look at what DeAndre Hopkins' salary cap hit's going to be for the team. And if you even look at Deontay Johnson, like he's on a half of a year, so you're getting him for winning this moment. Like you're getting him for this year because his contract's only a half of year for
He's
him.
a rental.
He's a rental. He's absolutely a rental. So when you look at their move that they're picking him up, it's like, okay, we're going to get a bit of mud of him in here, install him into our play calling, get him familiar with the personnel, and then we
get
can
him on the field Sunday.
Yeah, we can utilize him next year. Exactly. Well, get him on there and they won't know what hit him.
I've seen good reviews of him, of his on field, and I've seen some bad reviews of him on field, and so I'm just like, okay, I just want to see it happen. This makes football games on whenever the Cowboys play Sundays a little bit more exciting.
We don't even care when they play now. Whenever they play, whatever.
Yeah, what day? What do they play? What day do they play this week?
Who are they playing?